he felt his message was important enough to warrant a large following. Well, sometimes it's not about the message. Sometimes it's not about the what you have to say. Sometimes it's not even about that. Sometimes it is about simply shit don't go your way, and that's life. I know this because I have the same tendencies. I would look at numbers. I would look at all this stuff. You know what happened when I stopped looking at numbers, and when I stopped obsessing over what I could do, and when I just started to let fly and do the show that I wanted to do, I got on iHeartRadio. That's all I wanted, was to be able to be on the biggest platform in the world, and now I'm on several of the biggest platforms in the world, and we'll see. If I'm a complete failure, at least I can say, hey, I was good enough to get there. I've kind of toned it back, toned it down a little bit, because I understand that some of the most talented people, and working with independent artists, some of these musicians are so freaking talented, better than anything that comes over the airwaves that's signed and touring and making millions of dollars. And yet they're having to schlub day jobs and just be daily people and do their gigs on the weekends. Sometimes it just doesn't happen for you. And that's life. That's all it is. It's nothing to do with talent, pretty much. Some of the most talented people I know are completely unknown. Some of the least talented people I know are famous. Why? Why? And that's that little thing called luck. When the bounce goes your way. When someone likes what you're doing and they have a conduit and the ability to push you forward. I had an in and it didn't work. The in was my school professor, mentor, whatever, and he decided to put all of his weight behind a tall, leggy blonde. And not me, because I'm not that tall, but I am leggy. But it was a girl, a female. I remember having a meeting with him and her. We were talking about what our plans were after we graduated school. And I'd found out that she'd already been offered an internship at a radio station. Keep in mind, I'd done about 1.5 times the work that she had done. I had done everything I could. This guy purposely put her into a position where she would get an internship, and now she's doing radio in San Diego, doing what I wanted to do. Did I get any help from this guy? No. And what did I learn from that? It's just the way shit goes, man. A lot of it is hard work, but some of it is just luck of the draw. And this host, I don't think he understood that. And I don't think he enjoyed doing what he was doing just for pure enjoyment's sake. I think it was more he thought that he should be somebody. And when it turned out that he was dressed down by these people on this platform, it really brought him down to earth, and I think he wasn't ready for that. Combine that with everything else, and this gentleman decided to end his life. So what is the moral of the story overall? What is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is that when one commits suicide, one should look at the person's mental state. One should look at the extenuating circumstances, but one should never blame another human being for someone taking their own life. These documents that were read on Spreaker, yeah, it was dirty pool, as they would say. Yeah, it's dirty pool. Yeah, it shouldn't have been done. Yeah, it sucked. I mean, I seriously think these hosts didn't think that the guy was going to kill himself. And these hosts thought he was maybe made of tougher stuff than this. Because in order to come onto this platform, you have to be made of tough stuff. Even if you have a show that nobody listens to. You have to be tough enough to realize that you don't have a following. That you're one of a million. And that there may be people out there that are boring as hell, and yet they are getting listeners. They're getting people coming in. Bottom line is I don't think anyone should be charged for the suicide of another human being. I don't think that girl should have been charged, and I don't think that these hosts should be charged in the court of public opinion here. If someone is weak enough to kill themselves because of what someone says, then that person has the problem. That being said, this gentleman who killed himself had a lot of problems. He had a ton of problems. Some problems I'm sure nobody even knew about. And if you look on this person's Facebook page, and I'm not going to give out his name because that's not the point here, but people are still posting comments 15 months later, and how the fuck do you kill yourself when people are caring that much about you 15 months later? You had caring people. You had people who cared about you, sir, and you let them down. My mother did not kill herself. She was taken from us. And yet she doesn't even get the recognition of this guy. This guy's family's just all over the place. Yeah, we're all grieving. But this guy, suicide is the most selfish act that anyone can ever participate in. And there are hosts on this platform that still, a year and change later, are still blaming other hosts for this host's death. And for that, you're just despicable human beings. Because think of it this way. Number one, in this sissy society that we live in, someone can actually press charges on someone for putting information out to the masses that would cause them to kill themselves, I guess? No. Suicide is an individual, selfish act. This man was my friend. I considered him a friend. We spoke regularly. And it was like a punch to the nuts when I found out he killed himself. But more than anything, I was angry. How could you do that to your daughter? How could you do that to your sister? To your dying mother? How could you do that? And I can imagine the feedback. Oh, well, you don't know what he was going through. I don't care what he was going through. You get one shot at this bitch. You live it as hard as you can. You don't take yourself out. You do everything you possibly can in this life because you have one fucking shot at it. You don't take yourself. That is the bitch way to go. I'm sad he's dead. And I'm angry that he decided to make this decision. But I'll be damned I will be damned if I will say that it is anyone else's fault but his own. And it was not that young lady's fault that her boyfriend decided to kill himself. It was that young man's fault. He was the one hemming and hawing. He was the one going back and forth. She shouldn't do a day in jail. Would I like to be, would I like to be involved with her? No. Would I like to be involved with that woman? No. She just told the guy to fucking kill himself. I don't want to be involved with that woman. I'm being told his mom died a day later. Great. Wonder if she knew. Man, to kill yourself before your mother even dies, she's sick. You got to be there for your mom, man. I was there every week seeing my mom as she wasted away. That is the time you need to put yourself aside. That's what I had to do when I planned my mother's funeral. I put myself aside. And I took care of everyone else. And this motherfucker had to kill himself. I don't have the words. I don't have the words. So bottom line, should we be, as a society, convicting people of manslaughter if they do something that causes someone to commit suicide? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you know what? To this guy, hey, if his family were to listen to this, I'm not even going to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you lost somebody. I'm sorry that he had to do... I'm sorry you lost 2 valued members of your family in 2 days. If I were talking to his sister right now, I'd say, I'm so sorry for your loss. But I can't help but be angry at this guy. So, I think those people who are blaming my friends for this guy's suicide, number one, they don't know what they're talking about. And number two, I think they need to go down to the proctologist and have their head removed from their ass.